Hello, my beautiful Sone. I almost talked to you in Afrikaans.
Hello, Sone.
We're so used to when we see each other to talk in our home language, Afrikaans. We are in South Africa. I am in Johannesburg and Sone is in Cape Town. Flight wise, it's about 2 hours and a little bit. Travel wise, it's about 12,000 kilometers. And if you ask me what miles is it, I'm sorry, I don't know what miles it is. So I want to say, welcome, my beautiful Sunai. I am so honored that you are here. You are truly amazing. I'm going to just quickly let everybody know before I ask to you to introduce yourself. I just wanted to say we are all part of our amazing group Diamond Beauties Forever. And this is the Soul of a Diamond, is where the ladies will come and tell their story. And then with this story, it will also go in our Diamond Moment magazine. And then it will go into a book complete. Last week I could say, this week I'm struggling. A compilation of books. There you are. It's also called A Soul of a Diamond. Her chapter will go in there, and then my big dream, and my dreams always come true. I want to do a documentary on this amazing lady, Sunay Swanepoel. I'm truly excited. Just want to let the ladies know in the Diamond Beauties, our private group, I will be showing your comments and your love notes to Sunay, but I will not shout out because Sunay is here today to tell her story. So I'm truly excited, truly excited. Also, Sunay is our beautiful editor in chief of our Diamond Moment magazine. And we almost finished with this month's issue. So I am truly honored and so proud of what she is doing and what we are putting out. So now it's your turn, my beautiful Sunay. Can you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Swanepoel. I'm a mother of 3 children, a wife, spiritual leader. I'm a self-awareness and personal growth coach, an entrepreneur, and a wellness advocate for doTERRA essential oils. Being created a helper, I was called on this journey of life to find my voice and my worth. I was called to understand the pain and challenges that come from being voiceless and not realizing your worth. I was born into a loving family with amazing parents who always did their best for me. Yet I grew up voiceless. Oh, not because anyone was bad or ill meaning, but because it is part of my purpose and I value my purpose. Excuse my emotions. To understand the voice and to empower others and to lead the way, to show the light for others to also find their voice and value themselves. I want to start off by highlighting that my story is my perception of how my life unfolded. I in no way pass blame to anyone or regret anything that has happened on my life journey to date. I will share a few incidents that stood out for me over the years and caused me to have these feelings of not being worthy and not having a voice.
I'm
I
so
had a
sorry, my
time.
beautiful Sunay. Can I just
Mm,
interrupt? I Before we start with your beautiful story, may I please play you something I made for you?
thank you, Sone.
Okay. So my beautiful Sunay, we will start with your beautiful story in a second, but I need to play this video because you are truly an inspiration to so many and to me. So here we go.
Hi, Sone Swanepoel here. I am a self-awareness and personal growth coach, author, and editor of Diamond Moments magazine. I empower women to realize their self-worth and find their voice. I offer a safe space where women can take time to get to know themselves intimately, explore their connection to limiting beliefs, and break free, becoming more self-aware and using this self-awareness to create the life that they always wanted but never realized was an option, while feeling supported, understood, and helped. The tools I share not only spark new insights, but also foster a sense of enthusiasm and connection to self-mastery and ownership of life. I complement my coaching with education on growing old healthy and living a toxin-free life by using doTERRA essential oils.
Wow.
Thank you. That is beautiful.
I'm so happy you love it. I love doing that. So my beautiful one, let me just put on the ticker. So if you don't know it, the ticker is something that's going to run down there. So let me just there. So I want to say thank you, my beautiful sponsor, for this show, for sponsoring this show. And now you are welcome to continue.
Okay. So last year I had the privilege of going to a doctor for my shoulder. I had frozen shoulder last year. But she also does energy work, and she worked with my body and asked it some questions. My body answered. And it showed me where my belief of not being good enough came from. And it was quite a shock to me. It came to light that when my mother fell pregnant with my sister, I felt that I wasn't good enough and that they wanted another baby, which in no case was the truth because I know my mother prayed for me. They loved me. They were all that I wanted. But little Sone didn't know that. Sone's unconscious mind had some other ideas. So an unconscious belief was formed, an unfounded belief, but it was still created. I grew up in a loving home. I was and I still am very close to my parents. But over the years, things has happened that reinforced the idea that I was not good enough. My brothers got bicycles. I got a tricycle. It's little things, but it had an impact on me. My brothers got treats when they went to the army, and yes, I was a captain in the army. I didn't get anything. I was so much trying to always be the good girl, to make my parents proud, and yet I was denied things that my brothers were given. Again, it wasn't done on purpose, but it had an impact on me. My oldest brother learned to play the organ, but I, who loved music, never had that opportunity. I must be honest, I don't know what my parents' financial circumstances were at the time, and I don't even know if they knew that I wanted to play the piano because I maybe didn't communicate it. But I always felt that I had to work hard to be the good girl. It wasn't enough just to be me. Growing up, I also had the desire to be on stage, and today I'm here, so I'm very grateful for that. It's been a long journey. And when I was at church, I was afforded that opportunity. But as soon as I got onto stage and I saw all those people, my nerves got the better of me. And I started crying, and my mommy had to come and fetch me. I was branded as shy, and that belief stuck with me. And I became so shy that I wouldn't even talk to you if you didn't speak to me first. That is how bad it was. The other thing was I grew up in a time when it was said children are heard, are seen and not heard. And I wholly and completely bought into that idea. Don't get me wrong, I had confidence to a certain degree when I was younger, or I tried to have. I did speak and I did have a voice, but I became quiet and voiceless. And being voiceless, I was unable to stand up for myself. When my brothers and my sister and I fought, I would end up crying and they would end up laughing. I run to my mom, I could tell her my version of the story. She would fight my fights for me. And because I always wanted to be the good girl, I didn't maybe give the whole truth, just my version. Um, and then they got into trouble. And because I was scared of getting into trouble, maybe I didn't always tell the truth. The next thing that I remember was that I was bullied as a child. I was connected to someone. She was this amazing, or in my eyes, amazing girl. They were rich, and she was pretty. I wasn't rich. I wasn't pretty. And she messed with me. She knew how to manipulate me. The one day she would be my friend, the next day she wouldn't be. I would tell her some of my innermost important um, secrets, and the next day she would blurt it to anyone, and I would be the laughing stock of the school. I remember when I was in primary school, I had this recurring dream where I was being kicked from one side of the tennis court to the other, back and forth. And every time I landed, my wind was out. I couldn't breathe. And years later, I remembered, or I clicked. after speaking to my dad that it was that relationship with that girl that every time I go back for more, and every time because she was my friend, and every time she hurt me. Another thing that had a big impact on my life was what when I was about 12 years old, my mom put me on a diet. Um, Not that I was fat, but my dad's side of the family had some ladies that were a bit big, and my mom was scared that I would also turn out that way. But being on diets isn't really something that I wanted, but I didn't have a voice to say it. And I wanted to keep my mom happy. We spoke about it the other day. I thought I'll never be able to speak about this because I didn't want my mom to feel bad. I know she did it with the best of intentions, with lots of love. She bought everything I needed. Then it's this shake, and then let's trying that diet with the different soups. That was horrific. She would go on the diets with me. So everything was done with love. Yet when you already have a bit of a not a good self-image, you start thinking, okay, but maybe I'm not good enough. If I'm fat, I still need to make a plan with that as well. So for me, a bad relationship with food was born, and food became my boss. When we got cake, I had to have the biggest one. If everyone had cake, I also had to have, whether I wanted it or not. And then I started working. I made my own money when I was in school. So at home, I would diet, and at the pharmacy where I was working, I would buy chocolates. I messed up my own diet. I do not blame my mother. I don't hold it against her. She knows. We had a good talk about it. I love her. She just wanted the best for me. Then I got married, and Sone was a very obedient child that became a very obedient wife that didn't have a voice. And I didn't speak up because my husband didn't allow me to. I just didn't have the confidence or the skill set. I was scared of conflict. I was scared of being rejected. So I kept quiet and I ignored my own needs. Throughout all these things, I learned to not trust people, to not let them get to know the real me. Experience taught me that that would leave me open to being vulnerable and to get hurt. I was also afraid that the real me wasn't good enough. Past experiences have showed me I have to be rich, I have to be pretty, I have to be thin, I have to be a better friend. Me, just as me, wasn't good enough. So I closed off and I did not trust many people. I would agree with what everyone say just to hold the peace. When I had an opinion and I was in my comfort zone, I would raise it. But out there in the bigger world, that was a different story altogether. It was not worth getting hurt or rejected. I was in any case not even able to order my thoughts. If I go into a fight, someone would say something, go like, and afterwards I like, I could have said this, I could have said this. I had this whole block against expression, or I would end up crying. That's it. I don't want to say tool, but it's a very good manipulation tool when you're married to cry, or to just go quiet. I learned the power of quiet silent treatment. Wonderful manipulation tool, very powerful. But it made me sad and lonely. It didn't get me what I needed. I had to go silent to be noticed, get attention, or get the love that I needed. But I did not have the skill to express myself properly to get my needs met. My friends and a lot of my family didn't really know me, so they wouldn't notice. My husband would, after a week or so, will say, So, May, what's wrong? And then it's this big fight because I can't express myself. He thinks I'm being difficult. But so I didn't know the art of communication and trusting a voice. I learned to trust to do everything myself, to only trust on me, on no other people. People let you down. They hurt you. They use you for their own needs. Not because they're bad, but because I didn't have boundaries. I didn't know about boundaries. And then they go on with their lives. I am not good at asking for help, but I've learned that it is okay to ask for help and accept help. I'm good at giving, but asking for and accepting help is a whole different story. So again, when my friends couldn't meet my needs, I thought they didn't love me. I didn't realize me, I'm the problem. I'm not communicating. I'm not expressing. I'm too scared. So I had a long path of learning I had to do. My favorite story growing up was The Ugly Duckling. And there's a song in Afrikaans that we sing spreekies. It means freckles. And it's a story about this little girl that always thought that she's ugly. And one day when she's big, oh, see, she becomes the most beautiful smart. So I always thought maybe I'll be like spreekies because I had freckles. I had these pigtails sometimes. I didn't feel pretty. And I thought one day, as I grow older, I'll grow prettier. Like old wine, I'll get, or like red wine, I'll get better. And guess what? I'm married to Swanepoel. You see the name Swan in Swanepoel, so I became a swan. One way or the other. Law of attraction worked very well for me. The last point I want to touch on of my journey of being voiceless and not knowing my worth is I was very sensitive. And that was because I wasn't confident in myself. You would just look at me like this and I would cry. I thought it was about me. And that was because I wasn't secure. So these, you listen to them, you think, oh, maybe it's a lot of little things. What's the issue? When you're small and these things build up, it becomes your belief systems. And to collectively, it has a massive impact on your self-image and your self-worth. And I know my story is not the worst. I know my story is not unique. But I'm hoping that by sharing my story, I would give someone else that feeling voiceless or not realizing their worth hope to work through it. There's hope at the other side of the fence. Um, I think when we grow up, we don't always realize we have a choice. We think I'm born, I'm made like this, and that's it. I'm going to die like this. That's not it. We are not rocks. We are beautiful flowers or butterflies, transforming, growing, being created. We created in our creator's image. He never stopped creating. Why must we stop creating who and what we are? So this brings me to the next part of my story. Where did it lead me to? I was born positive, with a positive outlook on life and with a smile on my face. You wouldn't say it if you hear my sob story, but actually I was. It is part of my personality. I'm always able to see the sunny side of life. As I grew up, God, my creator, gently guided me to people and situations, books and lessons, and a desire to be better, to be more. To not be stuck in a box that my belief systems placed me in. I wanted to be more and better than I was. I always said I want to be the best version of myself. I've changed it in the meantime. I now want to be the highest version of myself. I believe if I say I want to be the best version of me, it's who I think I can be. But if I'm the highest version, I am who my savior, my creator, has created me to be.
That's a
So
beautiful shoot.
thank you. I believe that we have many things along the way that nudge us, show us it's time to change. Lessons keep on happening to us until we learn them. Then we can move on. Then we've completed that part of our growth journey. But we must realize this is not a once-off happening because we are never done changing. We are never done growing and transforming. But because I was so shy and sensitive, and because I knew how debilitating it is, I never wanted my children to be shy. Excuse me. And when I was about 35 years old, I've got 3 children. My 2 daughters were smaller. So I'm aware they're starting to become shy now. And I didn't want that for them. And through a few things that happened, I was introduced to a little bit of informations and I found some books that was quite interesting. And I realized, oh, so now you're the common denominator. You need to change. So I started working on myself. I started changing my mindset, my views, my belief systems. I had to get those negative thoughts out, for those negative belief systems, do some weeding. You know, as parents, we try our best on it, but we all make mistakes. We unfortunately bring the traumas of childhood into our own parenting. And unless we are able to recognize it and willing to change on it, it will carry on. My
True.
parents were cycle breakers. things happened in their family homes that they made sure didn't come into ours. We grew up loving, being kissed, appreciated. But even in that, how can I say that? Even after all of that, they also still had traumas that wasn't healed over the years because no one taught them that it can change and that they could heal. So some of their traumas and issues came in that had an impact on us. But I must remember the same way, I also had an impact on my children. So I cannot hold a grudge against anyone. I can only forgive. Because when I forgive, I become a cycle breaker. And then I can move on. And I can be the example for my children and help them heal. I've made mistakes that I felt bad with. I remember at some nights waking up like, or laying in my bed, I'm like, please wake up, please wake up. I just want to kiss you and say, I'm sorry, I love you. I made mistakes with the best of intentions.
It's okay.
A frog in my throat.
You're welcome to drink water. So, so now that is as well. I have tried my best not to incorporate things that happened when I was, but that I felt that was not right. But then listening to my daughter the other day when I was in New Zealand, I also made mistakes, and I can only ask for forgiveness because at that stage, that is my a frame of mind, and I was trying to do my best that I can. So you're welcome to continue.
The thing is, if we don't aren't aware of these things, because it's part of our past, and if we haven't cut it off, we pay attention to it, and what we pay attention to, we attract into our lives. But I wasn't aware of it at that stage. I was bullied. My daughters were bullied. I was shy. My daughters became shy. I had to change. I realized I had to step up. I had to become the example of the woman I would like my daughters to be: confident, fearless, expressive, willing to step out of my comfort zone, overcome my fears and grow. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be more. I always looked up, or I always looked at the parents who stood up for their children when a teacher overstepped. Phew, yeah, emotional one for me, this one. And I felt I didn't do that for my children. I saw other children hurt my children, or teachers were mean. And I tried to sort it out, but sure, I was scared. And I didn't want to hurt them. I don't want to be the bad person. And I don't want to be go into conflict or get rejected. So until one day, when a friend gave me a book, How to Stand Up for Your Children Without Stepping on Toes, I never finished that book. I got to about the third chapter. But what I read there was meant for me. It said, your children have one person fighting for them in the world, and that's you. If you don't do it, who's going to do it?
Wow.
And that hit me right here. I realized I had to step up. I had to be the camp fighter. I had to find my voice. My family is my second most important value in my life. So how could I not be there for my children and give them what they needed? And we are so hard on ourselves. And the other day I was busy cleaning my cupboards and I came across a little jar. I actually wanted to show you. And on there was little letters that my daughter wrote me, my middle daughter. There's reasons why I love you. And one of the notes was, because you always stood up for me. And I said to her, but Shariki, I didn't feel like I did it. I didn't feel I did a good enough job. She said, no. I can only remember that you were always there for me and stood up for me.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
And then I realized I've only seen the times I didn't do it to my standards or what I thought she needed. But what I did for her was good enough for her to make her feel loved and to know that I always had her back. So sometimes I think us as parents need to cut ourselves some slack I know there's a lot of homes where the parents aren't present, and that's a different topic for a whole other day. But I also know sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. We don't appreciate the good that we do. We just focus on the things we think we're not doing to the best of our ability. And then there was my boundaries. So I could not say no. So I was a people pleaser. I realized I was allowing other people to use me, putting myself in positions where I'm needed, I would be appreciated, be validated. But eventually, this led me to a place where I realized I'm doing it at a cost to my family and myself. And I was tired of being there for everyone, but it felt like no one was there for me. And then one day, my brother in law said to me, when I complained to him, he said, Sone, you need to be fair in life, not just to other people, but also to yourself. I was like, wow, okay, that did help. And I started implementing that in my life. I started small, but it was very empowering. I used to read a lot of a child, romances all the way. Ina Marie, I don't know if you remember her. So I was waiting for my horse, for my prince on a white horse, and met my husband, love of my life. I prayed for him. God gave him to me. He was everything I prayed for. What more can a woman ask for? But my husband's 14 years older than me. So for me, it was already, oh, he's older than me, he's better than me. I think that was part of my reason why I was so quiet, because I had respect for older people. They're authoritative. It was actually, it's a joke between us. But in any case, so we got married, but I wasn't able to communicate very, very effectively. I wanted a better relationship with my husband, to be more intimate, where I can voice my needs and know that my needs are met without the fear of rejection or being laughed at. So everything that I read, everything that I encountered, I started taking it and applying it to me. I realized that I can't change anything out there, but I can change me. It was a long journey, but absolutely worth it. It benefited our relationship on every level, and it increased our level of connection to the level that I always wanted and needed. I, I was coached by a dear friend, an amazing coach not so long ago. And through a coaching, the one day my husband and I had a massive fallout. That was actually last year. And I took whatever she gave me and taught me. It was actually 2 or 3 of the lessons that I combined. I taught it and I applied it to that fight that we had. And it was the best fight I ever had, because it was one where I didn't cry. It was one where I didn't go quiet. I used the anger that I used the anger that I had, and I used that anger energy to communicate. And that was a breakthrough for me, a point I can never go back, where I'm not quiet anymore. Something comes up, and even though I feel the fear, I can now express myself, and even in a logical manner, not like afterwards I want, oh, but I actually wanted to say this, and I actually wanted to say that. Another thing that I did was that I could not express myself in my own voice. I wanted to be able to communicate with others when there were conflicts without fear of being in trouble or getting hurt or rejected. My throat used to close up and I could not say anything. I hated it. It was so devastating. But I was tired of it. And somewhere along the line of my journey, I became better at expression. Everything that happened over the years pushed me towards that. A little course that I did here, someone I spoke to there, books that I read, a TV show that I watch, it all had an impact. I took it to heart and I applied it. I remember doing a Bob Proctor Facebook challenge 2, 3 years ago. And you had to write all your negative belief systems. And I thought, oh no, I'm a very positive person. I'll just have about 5. So I started with a mind map. When I was done, it was like a whole page full. I'm like, what is that going on my head? I took that paper. I went to the back. I read it. I cried. I burned it. But it was like the impact of doing that symbolic burning, and that's something we do in coaching as well. I cannot tell you the value that that has had on my life. Have you done that as well?
Yes, I actually do. On full moon, I do forgiveness letters with the Diamond Beauties, and we do also do wish lists that you burn and you let go, let God.
My favorite saying, let go, let God, or let go and be dragged. So I choose to let go, let God.
I love it. I love it.
But then, after I realized all these things and I was prompted here by God and nudged there, I believe He had a plan with me all along. He brought me to coaching. There's no two ways about it. So I had this inner guidance that sort of led me to things. Um, the right people showed up at the right time. Situations presented themselves. A course that I wanted to do became available or whatever. And it just happened for me. And I can't be grateful enough for that. I love my journey, Sone. There's not one thing about it that I regret because it's brought me to the version that I'm now. And I love this version. I'm looking forward to the ones to come, and I love the ones in the past. I've forgiven them as well, but they were part of my journey. So I first had to change my mindset surrounding shyness and being so touchy. I had to step out of my comfort zone. I had to be an example for my children. One of my biggest things I did, because I used to be a little bit on the bigger side, um, size has been, those yo-yo diets. Then it's this shake, then it's that, and then it's this, and then it's that. I
I know
tried to
it
stop.
off too well. I know it off too well.
Yes, I know. Yeah. But I know why I didn't lose weight because I didn't um, address my emotional issues. Once I started working on that side, I found myself a theme song. For me, it was Megan Trainor. If I was you, it would be Wanna Be Me Too. So when I was done and I saw this body, I would dance and I would sing it, and it just changed my mindset. My body was amazing. It's been taking care of me for many years. It breathes without me thinking. My legs take me wherever I want to go. My mouth just opens and eats whatever I put in. And nowadays it's not much because I forget to eat. I get busy with a magazine. So I
I'm
appreciate.
so sorry, my beautiful one. But you are doing such an amazing job with the magazine. I cannot wait for the reveal. So,
Yeah, no, it's a big one this time. So what I learned was that I first had to love my body unconditionally, the way it was. I couldn't wait for my body to be perfect because it was already doing a magnificent job now. And once I've done the emotional work, once I've loved myself unconditionally, that which I wanted from everyone else, but I wasn't even prepared to do it for myself. Once I reached the point where I loved myself first unconditionally, the fat disappeared.
exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Start loving yourself. Kiss
Yeah.
yourself in the mirror. Because when you start doing that, everything change. Your whole life change.
You can't believe you were that other person, eh? I look back at old Sone and I'm like, yo, yeah, I like you now. You were fine, but I like this one. I can't believe I had that mindset. But that's the grace we have. We can change. So what happened with my friends, I had good friends. I did. But I wasn't good at expressing. So again, boundaries, nothing. And I love Desperate Housewives. I actually wrote about it in my book. Not because of this or that. Those women could say anything to each other, and the next day they were friends again. And for me, that wanted unconditional love and support. That was like the perfect thing. So I wanted friends like the girls on Desperate Housewives, not the but stab each other in the back and all those, just those.
The
Like,
fighting, the chit chit.
yes, no, 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 unconditional friendships with love and time and support. And once I became clear about the type of friends I wanted, the type of friend I wanted to be, the ones that needed to stay, stayed. The ones that went, went. It's part of their journey. And I love each and every one of them that has been part of mine. And I thank them for the lessons that they have taught me. I told you about the little ugly duckling. So part of that belief system for me is that I grow old, healthy, and pretty. I don't believe we have to be sickly when we grow old. I don't believe that everything goes downhill when you hit a certain age. That is all mindset for me, a mindset that people buy into. So I changed my mindset about my brain and my body, and my brain bought it. You know, whatever you give your brain, it takes it. It's not. It doesn't distinguish. Oh, you're a good thought. You're a bad thought. No,
Exactly.
I have to decide what goes in here. Uh huh. So I started losing my fat when I dealt with my financial issues. I got the friends I wanted. I didn't have to have all those things anymore to validate me because everything I needed came from India, first and foremost. I did a lot of mind work. I broke the hold that food had over me, wasn't my boss anymore. I started exercising and running, and that's a big thing. I didn't like running, but I'm doing it now and I'm actually looking forward to it. Mindset. That's
Mindset.
as easy. It sounds so difficult, but it's actually the easiest thing you can do. We try to do it in Afrika. In Afrikaans, you say "gat oor kop," the wrong way around. So, yeah, I don't know how to say that in English.
I mean, I
So,
also don't know.
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned was to love myself unconditionally. I accepted me. A big part was to accept the ugly side of me, the side that can make mistakes, the side that's maybe not always the nicest one, the sides that I didn't want to acknowledge. Because I always had to be the good girl. I had to be perfect. I can't make mistakes. You know what a burden that is? And so boring. But once I got over that, it was worth it. It gave me peace and freedom. I could be me, unapologetically me. And yes, some days I don't get it right, where I still go a bit quiet when I'm in an intimidating environment. But I'm aware of it now. I can work on it. I love this version of me. And I've mentioned the previous versions. If we go look at them, we can like, what happened there? But if it wasn't for those versions, I wouldn't be here where I am today. We have to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made and for that which I put myself through. I did the best with the knowledge that I had at the time. I pressed through fear. I ventured out of my comfort zone. You know how nervous I was before this show. So yeah, out of my comfort zone. And it was worth every tear and breakdown. It's exhausting and scary to sometimes think I must change. But when you reach the point where you realize the bigger the breakdown, the bigger the breakthrough, you start looking for those opportunities because you know it brings you one step closer to the version you want to be. For me, the version that I believe I must be. I'm no longer trapped by my ego, but I'm living closer to my creator and having more peace. Along the way, I've discovered a few things about myself. I told you about my theme song. I learned to rely on myself to feel loved, happy, and to not put that responsibility on others. Sometimes we expect everyone else to make us happy, but we haven't found that happiness within ourselves yet. We have to take ownership of our lives and our happiness. No more outsourcing it. I
That's
used
just,
to
oh, I'm so sorry, my beautiful Sona. That's one of the things I tell a lot of ladies. You are setting other people up for failure because if you don't cannot express what, if you don't know how to make you happy, you cannot express what you want to make you happy, and now you want it from other people, but you are setting them up because they will never going to please you the way that you wanted to be pleased.
especially if you're me, because I thought my husband must read my mind. I can see what everyone needs. But then afterwards, I've done this coaching course and I've found out my personality. My personality is to be able to see what people need and to fulfill that need. Um, and if you're not careful, you become the people pleaser. There's actually a joke about my personality type. When there's a party, you don't know which personality to invite because you're so many different things to many different people.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So that's why you need to know yourself to become rooted in yourself. Um, I don't always even maybe know what I want. And I expect my husband to read my mind. I expect my friends to read my mind. I don't want to express it to them because I'm scared I'm going to say this or that. And now they don't do what I want, and I'm cross with them. So, what else did I learn? The value of coaching, both giving it and receiving it. I have a friend a few years ago. She's also a life coach. I'm like, why do you need a life coach? I know how to live. I don't need a life coach. And then I was introduced to coaching. In COVID, I tried to invest my children's money, and I lost the money. It was a scam. And that's when I started looking at options to get it back. And I was introduced to coaching, and then I was being coached, and I'm like, that's what coaching does. I've grown over the years through working on myself, but I've grown exponentially once I was coached. Because you just, I think it's Einstein that says you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. So even though I can work on myself, I do need the outside guidance and light to say, have you thought of this? How about that? So through the grace of God, I've been coaching many people over many years. My dad's been my mentor and coach from that I can remember when have a problem, I phone my dad and I say, Poppy, and then we talk. My mom's been my best friend. So I've been totally blessed.
Your dad had
So
just sorry, Sunad, your dad have just sent me a WhatsApp to say, oh, he is so proud of you and me.
uh, and I'm proud of him. He's 73 and he's doing coaching and mentoring. He's following a new passion. You can do anything at any age. We must not limit ourselves.
Exactly. That's why I thought your dad is like amazing. I'm sorry, you are welcome to continue.
So coaching. Um, if ever anyone has the opportunity to be coached, please take it. You are worth it. The amount of money my husband paid for that coaching course that I did, I was like, no. But once I realized my self worth, I'm worth it. And what I'm doing with it now, helping other ladies seeing their breakthroughs, it's phenomenal. It's not something you'll understand unless you've gone through it yourself. One of the other opportunities I had through this coaching course was to write a book. And that was actually one of my biggest breakthroughs. I never thought I'll be a writer or write. I mean, journaling at times was a challenge for me, but I'm growing into it slowly. But what I've learned through writing a book, even if you're not going to publish it, it helps you to pinpoint your triggers and your issues. And I learned that mine was being voiceless and not valuing myself, double standards, unfairness. So do yourself a favor and start writing a book, even if you're just not going to publish it. It can give you great insights into yourself. I actually feel that everything that's happened to me over the years has been part of my journey and it's helped me become who I am. One way or the other played a part. My daughter was bullied. We took her on a course where she was taught um, you can't change anything out there, but everything happens here. I was told, so now the ball is in her court. You need to step back because Sonai was a mommy that wanted to do everything for her children. Um, I had to learn to step back. So every little thing equipped me to better help others to find their voice, find their worth, and for them to see how amazing they are because I can see it, but they can't always see it. And I hope that I can always be a mirror for someone that doubts in themselves. What did not work for me, like I said, was that money of my children being stolen. And that was a very hard lesson for me and very difficult to admit I made a mistake, although it was done with the best of intentions. But I'm grateful for that today. Because I don't know if that didn't happen, maybe I wouldn't have become a coach.
Mm.
I might not have met you, Sunny. It's other
Yes.
amazing people I might not have met. I might not have become part of the Diamond Beauties. I might not have become the editor of Diamond Moments magazine. So as soon as we can start looking at everything that happens to us as a blessing, yes, that was bad, but what's the blessing? If I change my focus, my life changes. Then I will always in a space of gratefulness. One of the first things we need to do is to become clear about who and what. Oh, I love that. Butterfly cannot see its own wings. I actually read that somewhere this week. Thank you for sharing that. Um, we must become clear about who and what we want to be. Actually, in my book, side note, my foreword, it's about the butterfly. You can't speak butterfly to caterpillar. As a caterpillar, I might not always know. Yeah, I always thought it was a big insult, but I actually love it now, looking back when I went to think about it. As a caterpillar, I can't see the butterfly I might become, how beautiful my wings might be. So I have to live in faith. But once I am a butterfly, I can't look back on a caterpillar and like, you caterpillar, you. I was a caterpillar once. I cannot judge. I must respect the process that every person has to go through, and I can't make them go through that process if they're not ready. Everyone has to grow and transform at their own pace. The results that I had from going through this journey, I found my voice. I love my voice. How do I know this? A simple example. I never sent voice notes in the past. I would like listen to it like, near donkey. No, thank you. And then I would go retype and send a message. And once I started this, especially the last 4 years of my journey, once I've started my journey of growth and transformation, of being coached, of helping others, I was like, this is my voice. You take it or you leave it, but I like it. I'm basically, especially when I'm busy, and I'm like, okay, voice note, there you go. Sorry, it's 5 minutes. Enjoy my voice. Thank you. There you go.
I
So
love it.
that was a clear indication to me that I wasn't even accepting my own voice, my
Mm.
inner voice. That's why I couldn't accept my outer voice. But once I accepted my voice, my heart voice, I could accept my physical voice. I claimed my self value. I realized that for others to see my value, I first had to see it and appreciate it myself. Other people treated me the way that I allowed it. I did not expect any better. I thought that's what I was worth. I was too grateful for the few crumbs that was bestowed on me. And they only responded to my inner turmoil. They were not bad. They were just on their own journey.
Mm.
And most people are not even self-aware, let alone being aware of the needs of others. That's what the power of mindfulness brings. You just stop, look around you. I realized when went through my story today, I read through it um, at the, in one of your Diamond Beauties summits. We were gifted a gift where I could write my story, so that was quite helpful to prepare myself for today. So I read through that today. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Dina. I realized that that is why I always have an eye for people that are lonely or one-sided because I know how that feels. I only always find the people that are on their own. But being on my own for a long time equipped me to be there to help them. Excuse me. I received more, or over the years, I got more confidence. Reached the point where I walk up to people, random strangers in the shop. I'll tell them, yes, but you look pretty today. Or, wow, your hair is lovely. I would talk to anyone now. Yeah, sometimes some people are intimidating, but Sonette's taught me a trick now. She'll know when I do this what that means. That I can help to get over that. If you're interested, ask Sonette about that.
Wow.
So, thank you, Sonette.
Oh wow, my beautiful one. So can you believe our time is almost up?
No, I've got so much more to share.
I know, but our time is almost up. We just worked out the other day, my beautiful Diamond Beauties. How did me and Sunai come together? We don't know. But she joined the Diamond Beauties Forever group, and she was one of the ladies that just took a chance. and then she booked a coffee date with me, and we dance and we chat. I think we chat more than 2 hours. I don't know. I cannot remember. I think it was almost 3 hours because none of us had meetings after that. We laughed. We had such a beautiful time. And then Sinead just went away. I went continue what I was doing. And then God gave me this notch to say, Sinead, on your bucket list, or your dream list, you have your Diamond Moment magazine for next year, January. But you got 88 gifts. You have to celebrate. You have to celebrate the givers. I asked in the Diamond Beauties, I didn't get an answer. That I asked the one day, the Monday, the Tuesday, I had a meeting with your it was Tuesday or the Wednesday, I had a meeting with your dad, but you introduced us. And we had a beautiful time with Hans. He was like so amazing. His forever song is so upbeat. Oh, oh, oh. And I was just blown away by this young in age, in his 70s,
Young man.
and he's changing the world. And I said to Sinai, I said, after her dad is now finished, we just quickly had a chat. I said, oh, I need to bring out this magazine, and I don't know what platform. And she said, so neat. I had done 2 magazines. I can help you. Oh, Sinai, I love you. And now we're going to have our 3rd issue. And well, this is my first magazine, but I cannot just tell you, I'm the biggest, proudest, if I can say, mama or founder of the Diamond Moment magazine. I am. And this month, we've got a lot of articles from the Diamond Beauties as well. So, my beautiful Sunay, how does it feel to be the editor of the Diamond Moment magazine?
Amazing. I love it. I enjoy every article, everything I create. It's a privilege, and I can't wait to see your face on the
I
reveal on that day.
for the reveal. So my beautiful one, I'm gonna play the song I've written. I'm gonna play the recording of Dr. Michael Alexander that have read it for us, a little piece. But my beautiful ladies, I just want to let you know, more than 1,000 ladies or more than 1,000 people have opened and flipped the book on the website because we have the data. And then more than 300 people, I cannot say ladies because I don't know if it's just ladies, have downloaded the PDF. So can we do a record this time? Please send it to all your families and friends. We want to do a record this month.
We must just tell them to access it. They must go to your website and go to Diamond Moments. They'll see all 3 issues there.
Yes, we will have a website soon. So we're going to look at all that. We're going to go onto a proper platform. So amazing. So my beautiful, beautiful Sone, I am truly honored to have met you and to love you, to have you in my life. Thank you for all your love that you bestow on me. Are you ready to hear this beautiful wording of my song of Soul of a Diamond?
I am. Can I leave the viewers with one last
Yes,
thought?
please. Yes.
Remember, you always have a choice to either be the hero or the victim of your life. Happiness is a choice. It comes from within. You cannot find it somewhere else. You are worth it. Work on it. Be you. You are amazing.
Wow, I love it. I love you. Here we go.
Moments of moving from here to there between the star and the moon's soft glare capture a glimpse of light so rare, radiant and shining, our hearts declare for the world to see in love's grand affair. Moments of our lives that are filled with laughter keep us going, hearts thrilled, capture the essence of who we are in the spirit of a child like a shooting star. Moments to share our true stories so bright, not only for the world to heal, take flight, but to remind us how amazing we are. forever moving forward, a radiant star to create magic near and far. In the radiance of each heart's soft glow, we find the strength to carry on and grow. Shining bright, our love doth show in every moment, from dusk till dawn's soft flow. Radiant hearts, we shine so bright, in the diamond moments of love and light. Together we rise, our spirits take flight in the beauty of each day and every night. With courage in our souls.
Wow, it is beautiful. I cannot wait for our song to come out. So, my beautiful ladies on the Diamond Beauties, we love you. So, Nike, let us give them a kiss. Mwah. And then the viewers out there, thank you for watching. You're always welcome to connect to us. And I want to say, have a beautiful day. Please look after yourself. Smile often. And keep on dancing. Bye, everyone. Mwah.